Good morning, students. This is Sarita Sani, your economics teacher, and uh, my students of grade 11. Here I am again with Cambridge International School, Dasua, with our e-learning initiative to make your studies good and enjoy learning at home. So let's begin for today's activity. So let's see what we are going to do today. So let's have the introduction of this chapter. Chapter number is 4, and name of the chapter is Elasticity of Demand. So your subject is economics, and today we're going to discuss importance of elasticity with geometric method and relationship between price elasticity of demand and total expenditure. So grade 11, we are learning the syllabus of grade 11, and now your name of the teacher is Miss Sarita Sani. So I'm here. Sarita Sani is here to teach you economics for now the next topic. So topics which we are going to cover today is the first topic is importance of elasticity of demand. Importance, again we call it as importance, significance. Fine. So importance and significance are the words which we are using interchangeably, and both are even similar in nature. Now the next is the geometric method. So we will talk about geometric method even. So then relationship between price elasticity of demand and total expenditure. So all these things which we have to cover today, so it is the part of your syllabus, but it is given in your book in the power booster area. So we'll discuss about this, and then questions to be done for today. We will discuss about this. Now for the tip of today. So what we have to learn in today's tip. So the thing is, whenever we are attempting any question, so we have always like questions like MCQs, we have questions like your short answers, we have questions like this question like even your 6 marks question, long answer type questions. So in that CBSE defines word limit. So I'm going to discuss now the word limit with you. So for 1 mark question, it may be the one word answer, or it may be the MCQ type, it may be the fill in the blanks, it may be the match the following, it may be the like assertion and reasoning. So any of the question will be there. So the answer will be asked whether in one sentence or the answer will be in one word. So this is for 1 mark question. So when we talk about 3 marks questions, so 3 marks question we need to write the answer in 60 words, maximum in 60 words. Then if you're getting 4 marks question, then in that answer you need to give your answer for 70 words in each. And for 6 marks question, you need to give your answer with 100 words. So my dear students, whenever you're writing your answer for the board exams, whenever you're attempting your question in the grade 11 exam, final exams, or the this half yearly exam, so you have to attempt your question according to the word limit. So with this, you are not wasting your time, and you are able to complete your paper on the time. Fine. So this is today's tip. Now let me just recall you some of the things which we have discussed yesterday and in this chapter. So let's discuss. We have discussed till date methods to calculate elasticity of demand. So we did percentage method, we did proportionate method. So we have solved the formula for this. I've given you worksheet for that, and even I'll add 10 more questions in that worksheet, and then I'll give you answer key for that even. So this is which we have covered earlier even. So what we are going to cover in the next part of your chapter even, that we're going to discuss. So other things which we have discussed is the factors affecting elasticity of demand. Then we discussed other thing that was the degrees of elasticity of demand, price elasticity of demand. So all we are done till date. So today the topic which was left in the power booster area, so let's discuss about that. So the first topic was importance of elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand is very important concept. Whenever we are talking about elasticity, so price elasticity is the most important concept. So its importance can be realized from the following points. The first point is international trade. So I'll explain you all the points, but you have to write the explanation while listening me in your notebooks with these points. So the first point is international trade. So how elasticity of demand is important for international trade. So in order to fix prices of goods to be exported, it is important to have knowledge about the elasticities of demand for such goods. A country may fix higher prices for their products with inelastic demand. However, if demand for such goods in the importing country is elastic, then the exporting country will have to fix lower prices. So this is how we are thinking of elasticity of demand when we are thinking to establish international trade. Now, next thing is formulation of government policies. So how elasticity of demand is always helping government for making their policies. The concept of price elasticity of demand is important for formulating government policies, especially the taxation policy. Government can impose higher taxes on goods with inelastic demand, whereas low rates of taxes are imposed on commodities with elastic demand. So you can think now, because of this coronavirus, government is again thinking of the elasticity of demand, the things which government is always think like they will be having inelastic demand. That means there is less change in the demand. So like the necessities of life, like government has now increased price of diesel, petrol. So that was also the point. Even government has imposed 70% more GST on more excise duty on tax on liquor, so that government is able to get more taxes and they are able to cope up with the the this pathetic condition in the society because of COVID-19 pandemic. So this is how government formulate the policies, and time to time they are changing the policies according to this elasticity of demand. Then is the factor pricing. Price elasticity of demand helps in determining price to be paid to the factors of production. Share of each factor in the national product is determined in proportion to its demand in the productive activity. So if demand for a particular factor is inelastic, so we feel the demand is never changing, it is it is inelastic, मतलब उसकी demand हमेशा रहेगी. So as compared to the other factors, then it will attract more rewards. So what is the factor pricing? Price elasticity of demand helps in determining the price to be paid to the factors of production. So what are the factors of production? We are done with 4 factors of production, that is land, labor, physical capital and human capital. So all are there. So share of each factor in the national product. So all are very important when we are talking about national income. National product is your national income. Is determined in proportion to its demand in the productive activity. जिसमें जितनी प्रोडक्शन एक्टिविटीज ज़्यादा आएंगी उसके बेसिस पे हम लोग क्या करेंगे, उनकी डिमांड की जो प्राइसिंग है वो करेंगे. ठीक है. सो डिमांड फॉर पर्टिकुलर फैक्टर इज इनइलास्टिक. मान लो किसी like we can take the example of human capital. So if the demand for human factor is inelastic, so in that case compared to other factors, then it will attract more rewards. So obviously the staff will always attract more rewards. Next thing. So next that importance point of importance is decisions of monopolist. Monopolist is we're going to learn in delay in we're going to learn in detail in the chapter forms of market. So monopoly is the type of market in which only single seller is there, rest of the whole population in the country is only the buyers. So I can give you the example of monopoly, that is Indian Railways. So Indian Railway is the only organization which is producing Indian Railways, and rest of the world, rest of the India, they are the users, they are the buyers of the services of railways. Next is a monopolist considers the nature of demand while fixing of his product. So government is always thinking of their nature of demand when while fixing their price. So if they are thinking of government's welfare, so in that case if demand for the product is elastic, then he will fix low price. So yes, obviously when the demand is elastic, so when everybody has to like avail these services, so government if think of giving them public welfare, so obviously they will fix the price at lowest. Then however, if demand is inelastic, then then he is in a position to fix the high price. So when the demand is inelastic means need change, sorry, inelastic means which is not changing. So in that case, they are going to fix it higher. Fine. Next is paradox of poverty amidst plenty. Now, a bumper crop, instead of bringing prosperity to farmers, brings poverty. Sometimes a bumper crop, like bumper lottery. So what happens? A crop which we are growing, sometimes it brings prosperity, but वो क्या लेके आती है? Poverty लेके आती है. This is called the paradox of poverty amidst plenty. It happens due to inelastic demand for most of the agricultural products. When supply of crops increase as a result of rich harvest, their prices drastically fall due to inelastic demand. As a result, their total income goes down. Yes, recently it was in the news that people has had grown lot of this hari mirch, what we call it as in English, that was hmm, हरी मिर्च जो थी उसको काफी ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस किया गया था मानसा वाली साइड पे फार्मर्स ने एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस लॉकडाउन पीपल वर नॉट बाइंग देयर प्रोडक्ट्स इन बल्क सो व्हाट हैपेंड वो जो क्रॉप थी दैट वाज बम्पर क्रॉप फॉर देम नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड आफ्टरवर्ड्स लोगों ने उसको खरीदा ही नहीं तो व्हाट हैपेंड किसानों को वो सड़क पे फेंकनी पड़ी सो व्हाट इज दिस इज rather than making them richer this crop has made them even poor so this is the paradox of poverty amidst plenty so this is the example so we call it as hari mirch ko we call it as shimla mirch we call it as that is capsicum so capsicum I'm talking about fine so let's now talk about the next topic that is geometric method. So like geometric figures, we have now the geometric method for measuring elasticity of demand. So geometric method was suggested by Professor Marshall and is used to measure elasticity at a point on the demand curve. So geometric method, how we call it as, so there are certain points which we have to discuss in this method when there are infinitely small changes in price and demand, then geometric method is used. जब हमें प्राइस में इन्फिनाइटली स्मॉल चेंजेस मिले एंड उसकी वजह से इफेक्ट पड़े तो हम लोग उसको कौन सा मेथड यूज करेंगे दैट विल बी ज्योमेट्रिक मेथड फाइन दिस मेथड इज आल्सो नोन एज ग्राफिक मेथड other names for this like your nicknames at home similarly this method geometric method also has have certain other names that is graphic method point elasticity sorry point method arc method so these are the three names for the same method now, elasticity of demand is different at different points on the same straight line demand curve. So, elasticity of demand will be different at different points. So, we will discuss in detail. So, in order to measure elasticity, ED is elasticity of demand at any particular point, lower portion of the curve from the point is divided by the upper portion of the curve from the same point. So, elasticity of demand ED is equal to lower segment of demand curve LS and upper segment of demand curve is US. So we are taking it as lower segment as a numerator and upper segment as denominator. So let's now do it in. So in order, geometric method is in order to measure elasticity at any particular point, lower portion of the curve from the point is divided by the upper portion of the curve from the same point. Elasticity of demand ED is equal to lower segment of demand curve that is LS and over upper segment of demand curve. So as seen in figure 4.8, you can see N is the like midpoint which is separating the upper portion and the lower segment, upper segment and the lower segment. So you can see NQ is the lower segment. So we always take a numerator as lower segment and the denominator as upper segment. So P, NP, so that will be your upper segment. So elasticity at point N is equal to 1 because this is going to be the midpoint for the both the segments. Now next Elasticity of demand on different points of a straight line demand curve is similar as we are done with the degrees. So unitary elastic demand, highly elastic demand, less elastic demand, perfectly elastic demand, perfectly inelastic demand. So in the geometric method, you can see the first thing, that is unitary elastic demand. So your curve BD, so you can see the BD point, that is the lower segment, and upper segment is BE. So both BD over BE is equal to 1. So this is going to be the your midpoint ED is equal to 1. So this is the first degree which we have discussed. First degree that we are showing it on the straight line demand curve in geometric method. Next is highly elastic demand. So in this point, your ED is greater than 1. So in this point, what will happen? The lower portion will be AD and the upper portion will be lower portion will be now sorry the upper portion is AE and the lower portion is AD. So AE over AD is always greater than 1. So you can see, write it down, AD is greater than, देखो इसका area जो है AD का as compared to AE, that is less, and AD is greater than AE. So this is how we have to write in that. Then is less elastic demand. So it is totally opposite of the previous one. So in this case, the last point CD is the lower segment. CD is the upper it is the lower segment. CD is the lower segment and CE is the upper segment. So when we are taking lower segment, that is CD, and देखो यहाँ पे CE is greater than CD, so what we are going to do, we mark it as CD is less than CE. So this is how we are doing that. Then is perfectly elastic demand. So then we have the point, that is ED is 0 at the point. ED is 0 at the point, and ED is equal to next point is if we are covering all ED, that is full, that is infinite and over 0. So next value is not given to us, so that is 0. So here we are having the value, that is it is infinite. Next is 0 over ED. So for the next point, if we are talking about perfectly inelastic, 0 over ED will be the answer. So 0 is, we are not having the value of any upper segment, lower segment, but we have the value for upper segment. So 0 over ED we are going to take it as, so when ED is equal to 0, that will be your perfectly inelastic demand. So I hope this is clear to you. Now let's move to the next topic, that is the last topic of your chapter. Now this is going to be the last part of your chapter. So relationship between price elasticity of demand and total expenditure. So the price elasticity of demand for a good and total expenditure made on the good are greatly related to each other. When we are buying the goods from the shopkeeper, and when we have to bargain, so we are always asking about more quantity. So if we are asking about more quantity, so we are always asking to reduce the price. So here is again elasticity of demand and total expenditure is related. So हमने कितना total amount spend करना है, उसके basis पे हमने कितना price उनसे कम करवाया, so that will be price elasticity. So at times it becomes important to determine the effect on the expenditure on a good due to change in price of the good. So we know that the prices of a good and demand for the good are inversely related to each other. So responsiveness of demand in relation to each in price elasticity of demand determines the change in expenditure. So whatever the price, if the price is changing, obviously we will change our expenditure accordingly. So total expenditure is also affected by price elasticity. So let's discuss the next. Elasticity is more than 1. So when we have the first for this, that is elasticity is more than 1. ED is greater than 1. So here is the table which is telling you total expenditure. So total expenditure we always calculate with price into quantity. So price was 5 rupiah and quantity was 100 units. So 5 into 100 it will be 500. Then again 4 into 140 it will be 560. So now we are discussing about this. So when demand is elastic, a fall in the price, so you can see price is falling 5 to 4 and price of the commodity results in increase in total expenditure on it. On the other hand, when price increases, total expenditure decreases. It means in case of highly elastic demand, price and total expenditure move in the opposite directions. Fine. So this is what I have to explain you. So price is declining and your this total expenditure is increasing. So I hope this is clear to you. Now let's move to the next topic. So next is elasticity is less than 1. When elasticity is less than 1. So again the price is declining 5 to 4, then quantity is increasing. Fine. Quantity of units is increasing 100 to 120. Now in total expenditure we are going to get 5 into 100, that will be 500, and for units that will be reduced it is here now the total expenditure is 480. So when elastic demand is when demand is inelastic, a fall in the price of a commodity leads to fall in total expenditure on it. On the other hand, when price increases, total expenditure also increases. It means in case of less elastic demand, price and total expenditure move in the same direction. So now you can see the price is declining, even the total expenditure is also declining. So this is the case of inelastic demand. Now let's move to the last topic, that is unitary elastic demand. So when elasticity is equal to 1, that is unitary elastic demand. So here again price is falling 5 to 4, then quantity is 100 to 125, it is increasing. But what effect we are getting on the total expenditure, you can see now. So 5 into 100, that is 500. Then 4 into 125, it is 500. When demand in unitary elastic, a fall in rise in the price of the commodity does not change the total expenditure, it means total expenditure will remain unchanged. So here is the case of unitary elasticity. So here we are getting that demand is unitary elastic in this case. So let's move to the now combined form of this method. You can check now total expenditure method. So what happens, how we are drawing the total expenditure. So price elasticity of demand can also be calculated by total expenditure method. So this method was suggested by Professor Marshall. Another geometric method was also suggested by Professor Marshall. Now this method is also suggested by Professor Marshall. This method is also known as total outlay or total revenue method. So under this method, price elasticity is measured by comparing total expenditure on the commodity before and after the change in price. It has three possibilities. When ED is equal to is greater than 1, if TE is inversely related to price. जब वो price के inversely related है तो then it is ED is greater than 1. When ED is less than 1, if TE is directly related to price, fine. So in this case, ED is less than 1. ED is equal to 1 where if TE is does not change with change in price. So these are the three cases which I am showing here. So ED is less than 1, it will be the upper portion. Then ED is equal to 1, it remains the same. Price को कोई effect नहीं आएगा. Then ED is greater than 1 when price and total expenditure are inversely related. So this is how we are drawing this. Now for this method we have one limitation. So let's discuss about that limit. Now, total expenditure method suffers from one defect. So that is your limitation. Defect means limitation. कुछ कमी है इस चीज में. So it fails to give the exact magnitude of elasticity. So we are not able to find out how much rate of elasticity we are getting change in the elasticity. So that is the negative point for this. By this method, we can only know whether the elasticity is equal to 1, greater than 1, or less than 1. So hence this method is restrictive and provides only a rough measure of elasticity. Now the next thing which we have to discuss for today is which we are going to do for today. So the first question for today is explain the significance of elasticity of demand. Then you have to explain discuss geometric method in detail with all the degrees which we have discussed earlier even, but you have to draw it and then explain it. Fine. Next is describe relationship between price elasticity and demand and total expenditure. So this is all about for today. So in the end, I would say thank you, God bless you, enjoy learning at home, and even pray for humanity so that this COVID-19 pandemic will end soon and we will meet as soon as possible. And we will learn in our classes like we were doing earlier. So hope for the best. Enjoy learning till the government is going to open this lockdown. So we are there to help you out. If you find any kind of doubt, so you can discuss all your doubts with me. So you got my WhatsApp number already, that is with you. So you can give me call or you can leave message on WhatsApp. So I'll give you a call, then I will discuss with you all the points which you are having doubt in. So this is all about for today. So enjoy learning at home, stay healthy, happy, and enjoy this time with family and learn well. Fine. So God bless you.